HIV programs. Millions of lives are at risk. The time for action is now. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed into law a massive package of tax and spending cuts at the White House today. Trump signed the bill one day after Republican-controlled House of Representatives narrowly approved the signature legislation of the president's second term. The bill was passed with 218 votes to 214 after an emotional debate on the White House floor. It will reportedly fund Trump's immigration crackdown, make his 2017 tax cuts permanent, and is expected to knock millions of Americans off of health insurance. Trump also thanked House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune for leading the bill through the two houses of Congress. According to reports, the bill's passage amounts to a big win for Trump and his Republican allies, who have argued it will boost economic growth, while largely dismissing a nonpartisan analysis predicting it will add more than $3 trillion to the nation's $36.2 trillion debt. Now we go back to our discussion with Dr. Noor Nirwandi. He's a security analyst and psychops expert. Thank you, Dr. Noor, for staying with us. Now, could this major legislative win strengthen Trump's political position ahead of upcoming elections or weaken, according to you?
I think the basic elements that why the Trump signs the current legislative of what we call the importance of looking into the tax elements in US, basically is part of his manifesto. And it is also part aligned towards his approach of MAGA, making America great again. And increasingly, of course, it will have some significant effect towards the ones that opposing and of course the one supporting the bills. While of course the main important things I think the Trump achievement is to look into how to crack down on the immigrants by looking into to expedite and to boost the expenditure to curb immigration problems in US by looking into much more better security in the form context. And the tax itself will also bring some positive elements avenue to the US element where the representations of the tax will increase much more spending outfit for the American peoples. But nevertheless, there also be some concern that the tax will giving some elements of negativity impacts of economic, such as the disorientations of the spendings and the representations of the tax by itself, the disproportions of the tax itself will have a long deficit of US economy in the long future run. But I do believe this is something that the Trumps have been looking forward to do so, and in context of his political achievement, there will be some form of misorientation, there will be some form of missupport. But I think overall, the America will love to see on how the proportions of the tax being used to achieve the Americans' elements, in particularly the outfits of economic elements of American spending, and on how it could be used to curb immigrants and aligns with the Trump MAGA policy, which is making America great again.
And Dr. Noor, now staying on this and building on to your answer, how realistic are Republican claims that this package will boost economic growth despite adding trillions to the national debt?
I think if you look into the representation, there are some situations that we look into that, such as on the short-term boost, of course, especially to investments and the representations of wage and consumer sentiment. There will be also some looking into distribution of challenge on how it will benefit towards the wealthy taxpayers, social safety net, and the growth claim. There are a little bit of skeptical of growth claim because most independent economics mentioned that there will be some portion growth to look into the form of that. But in anyhow, if we look into on the overall perspective, we could see that there will be some short-term gains that will help to benefit the Americans' economics, which is form, of course, where we talk about tax cuts. We also talks about eliminating such form, other form of the increasing of the tax, and to boost the consumer confidence, investment, and it will definitely will boost GDP in the run. But this is the long-term risk. This is something situation that we talk that the congressional budgets in the context of the billions or involved trillions over the next decades, and maybe some form of spendings that we look into the representations of the fiscal outlook there will be some global economic shift and the distributions of equity that we have to be looked. And these critics said that the amounts of the wealth transfer from the poor to the rich also will be something that we are worrying about. And I think there are some basically mix and mesh, and of course the mixture of orientation where the people are supporting and looking to the bill. But I do believe that the bill will deliver short-term benefits to the economic activity, but in the long run, it have to be a cautious form of element, but in the context of giving the American boost, or basically the Trump representation of manifesto, curbing the immigrant, this will significantly giving Trump much more popularity by doing so in context of using this bill.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nur Nirwandi, for joining us and